Hello everyone, welcome back to Project Architect 2. So we just got the Archium and the Archolution up and going. Didn't get the Archium automated, mainly because I'm kind of lazy, don't really care to. Now the next thing to do is get some fading matter, which I need to get antimatter from Mekanism. Now this is not insanely hard to get, it's just kind of tedious. Kind of just have to set up a bunch of different machines to make the fissile fuel, which is how you create the nuclear waste. It's kind of just tedious stuff. It's not really difficult. It just takes some time and a little bit of room because you kind of need to build up a big reactor to be able to make the nuclear waste. It's just a process. Now, luckily, I got the alloys and stuff and like the circuits for Mekanism automated, or at least being able to auto craft them, and that'll make things a whole lot easier when it comes to actually building up to make the fissile fuel, that's kind of the main problem. That's the main thing that takes like 13 different processes of different stuff to build up to. Getting to that, it's luckily you can kind of backtrack it. So like this, like it takes quite a lot. You have to make the uranium hexafluoride, then it takes 3 different other, or I guess just 2 different other things, and there's just a list of stuff you have to do. Now I did build up where I'm going to be doing this. So I made it like a reactor looking thing, and then these side rooms are just going to be where I'm actually producing the fissile fuel. Now I'm using these quantum rings to access my storage, my applied energistic storage. I actually don't know if this is actually going to work, but I'm fairly certain if you just connect, so you make one of these by your actual controller in your storage system, and you connect it with the cable, and then you build another one of these, and then you put one of these entangled singularities into both of them, connecting the 2 entangled singularities that are like, linked, I guess you could say, into each of these. I'm fairly certain you can access your storage. So I got a cable under here that I'll be using, and then I'll just be pulling stuff out. I'm fairly certain like 99% of everything is EMCable. At least the very, very base level of the material. You might have to kind of process it a little bit before you actually get to what you need to use in the process of making the fuel. And then down here, I'm going to build the reactor. I thought of actually like taking out like a square in the glass and lowering it down, so I'm more like on the like middle part of it, of the reactor. But I don't know. And then the supercritical phase shifter, I think is what it's called, which is like the circular thing that actually makes the antimatter. I'm just going to plop it up here. It's going to be kind of, not going to be against this circle, but it'll be kind of offset, so it'll be kind of floating. Probably have like chains holding it down. But I'm actually very proud of this. This sphere, I didn't build it. I did not freaking waste my time just building it. I used the builder from RF Tools. If you just get the regular shape card, you can actually have a sphere like this, and then you just have to supply the builder with blocks. And I just did, I think it's smooth quartz. And then I went through with my, what is it? The exchange tool, actually. The exchanging gadget. Now, the cool thing about this is you can actually link these to your storage, so you can just use items if they are in your storage. It just pulls it straight out of your storage. It's kind of cool. And so I just went through and added these rings, those like corner pieces. So, and then I added obviously all the lights and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna get started on getting Mekanism, or I should say the antimatter, up and going. So I know that there's a way to calculate how much of each of the stuff, each of the ingredients, I guess you could say, you need to make to be able to produce a certain amount of fissile fuel per minute. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to kind of slam some stuff together and just make it to where I'm making a decent amount of fissile fuel. Usually I kind of go ham and I try to like produce have it just producing a ton, but I'm not really going to do that. I'm just going to kind of slam some stuff together, and whatever I'm producing, that's just what's gonna have to be used. Because luckily, I will be able to move on after making the fading matter to try to end up making the final star, which I can then make an infinite chemical tank of antimatter. I won't have to produce it anymore. So I don't need to worry about trying to make as much antimatter as I possibly can, because I will inevitably have an infinite amount. Yeah, this stuff, it can get pretty complicated, but luckily it all kind of has an EMC value. Water vapor is easy to get. Sulfur trioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur dust. Like, it's just, you're just kind of like making, like you're just adding more and more to it until you eventually get to the fissile fuel. So the process of actually making antimatter is pretty freaking complicated. Now, I'm just gonna kind of split it up into sections. I think each one of these rooms is gonna have like 4 different processes in them, maybe more, depends on what I need. And I mean, I might even add some bullcrap like out on this ring. Who knows? It depends how, well, complicated it gets. Now I got to get the kind of the very base level stuff started, which is going to be the uranium oxide, and then like oxygen and stuff, and then like sulfur dust as well. This I guess this I'm actually going to be turning into let's see, I think I'm going to be turning it to sulfur dioxide. Yeah, I think those will be in this room, and then the further up processes will be in that room over there, and then eventually I'll run it down to the reactor down there. Now luckily they all have the pretty much every single one of these processes can be used in like the factory version, most of them. Once you get up to all the way up to like the hydrofluoric acid and the uranium hexafluoride, yeah, you can't really, there's not really a factory for these. So yeah, I'm gonna hurry and get all of the basic stuff underway in this room. All right, so I got all of my fissile fuel production up and going. I've made about 2,000 buckets of it, so it's pretty good. It's not the fastest, like I'm not making a ton of it that fast, but I mean, it works. Now, to actually make the reactor, it's pretty simple. So I'll just try and build like a little small one. I'll build like a 5x5 just to at least show how it is built, and then I'm actually gonna build like a closer to like a probably like a 12x12 or something. So you need to build like a case using the fission reactor casing like this. I think the size limit is like 18x18 by like 32 or something like that. So it's like 18x18 on the base and then 32 high. And then you don't want to just fill this whole thing in with these rods, the fission fuel assembly, but you want to leave some space because you do have to fill it up with water. So, and then you place the control rod assembly on top of this, just under the top of your case, and then you can fill the rest in with glass. I'm fairly certain you can fill the whole thing in with the casing, like where I'm putting the glass, but I'm not 100% certain. Then I think you at least need 3 of these. Actually, I think it's 4. And then just fill in the rest. Cool. Yeah, now when you right click on it, you can see that it is assembled. And then you can actually change these. So these are all, I think this is all set to the input. If you pull out the mechanism configurator, you can just, I think, shift right click. Yeah, so now this is outputting the waste, which is the nuclear waste, which I need. And then this will output the coolant, which it comes out as water vapor. And then this is just input. So you'll need 2 of these, and then you'll need 2 of the input and then 1 of the other 2 at least. Depending on how big you go, you'll definitely need more of the output on the coolant, and then maybe like 2 on the the waste one. But putting the water in is really easy if you use I think it's integrated dynamics. So using these fluid importers and export, I think it's the exporter actually. I think you can actually use both. And then you need, where are they? Right here, the logic cable. You can connect it to a sink and then fill up like a big reactor, like just almost instantly, because you can change the flow rate to just freaking like 1 billion buckets a second, so it'll instantly fill up a massive reactor. Makes it super nice. But you can't pull the water vapor out because it doesn't do, unless is this, oh, this is block. It doesn't do like chemical, I guess you could say. I haven't played around with it enough to, I couldn't figure out how to get it to pull out the water vapor. So that's why I always do multiple of the output for the water vapor when I make like a big one, because it does crank it up, or crank it out, I should say. But yeah, I'm gonna build this. I don't know how big. Like I said, it's probably just gonna be like a 20 by 20 or something. I think that's like the center. I'll just I'll start building this, and then oh yeah, I forgot. I'm also no, I'm just gonna place it on this. I was thinking about like having it go lower in the glass, but I'm not gonna do that. So I'll just start building this out. Okay, so to use integrated dynamics, you place, nope, you actually place this. So this is the exporter. You place it where you want to pull the stuff, like put the stuff into, and then you place it on a regular just logic cable thing. And then you actually need one of these logic cables to connect it. And then what you do is you come in here, and I think it's export all fluids. Maybe just export fluids. But you do this, and you have to come in here and change the transfer rate, and I just add a bunch of zeros until this check mark turns to red, and then you just change it back. Do you have to like do anything with this? I think you just throw this in here with, was it this one that I did? Yeah, and it just filled it all up. So yeah, it's really freaking quick. I just threw in 360,000 buckets of water that fast, so it's pretty freaking quick. And then I got the fissile fuel in there as well. Now I got to figure out a way to pull out, or I got to figure out how to safely, at least, pull out the nuclear waste and have it go straight into being crafted into, I think it's polonium and plutonium. I think I need both of them. And then the water vapor, I'm just going to use the trash cans. Make one of these bad boys. I don't know why I haven't made the other ones yet, but luckily they are EMC-able, which is kind of sick. I'm just gonna do this. Freaking max this thing out. So I should be able to turn the, oh, didn't. There we go. Should be able to turn this bad boy on. And I should make some, whatever it's called, some nuclear waste. So it's at 0.1 millibuckets a tick. Yeah, I mean, let's just start it. Cool. So yeah, so I'm getting very slowly making the nuclear waste, just because I don't have this thing pumped up that far. And luckily I'm pumping out all the coolant. Okay, well, everything works, luckily. So now I just gotta figure out a safe way to pull this out. I can't connect it yet because I'm gonna pull out nuclear waste if I do that. So I might just have it go straight into the ground and then have it like circle out just outside somewhere and pipe it to a place. I don't know where, but I'll figure it out. Okay, so the next step in getting to the it's like the super critical phase shift or whatever it's called, you need to start making these plutonium pellets, and then you get this spent nuclear waste. Now how you actually get rid of it is there's these barrels, these radioactive waste barrels that slowly decay it when you shove it into the barrel. So I'm just gonna have a ton of them. I'm gonna have this going, I'm probably gonna have it piped straight out into the ground, and then I'm gonna have it just have like an array of these barrels, because each barrel has like a certain amount of I guess you could say decay that it has. So I'll just hurry and build like a little area probably down there. Luckily they hold quite a bit. You can build just like a, I don't know, a grid of them. Can I go ham with it and just shove them in a corner? You can also use the spent nuclear waste. Where is it? Right here. the spent nuclear waste, you can use it to make more plutonium, but you need liquid uranium oxide, which, I guess I do have uranium oxide, huh? I could do that, actually. And it makes more nuclear waste. Wow, that's actually kind of sick. So I can kind of like recycle it. Nah, I didn't really build up the infrastructure for that, so I'm not going to do it. So now I got my spent nuclear waste cooking. Now my plutonium, so I need, I'm not 100% certain how much SPS casing blocks I need to make that. It is the supercritical phase, yeah. Phase shifting reaction, whatever. So I'm fairly certain I need like just over 60 of these blocks, something like that. Maybe it's close to like 80. So it takes 1 plutonium and then 4 polonium pellets. So I just need to make like, I'll probably make like 2 stacks of the plutonium and then like 8 stacks of the polonium pellets. That should honestly give me enough to make, oh yeah, because I need some for you. So I need 2 of these. So that's 4. So yeah, that should give me more than enough. I feel like it doesn't need 2 stacks worth of SPS casing blocks. But yeah, now it's just a waiting game. I mean, I'm almost done with the plutonium, but the polonium is where it's gonna be a little bit rough. I could turn up the burn rate on this. I have the burn rate at like 100 millibuckets. I could turn it up to like 200. Let's see, am I filling up? Oh, I'm not pulling the steam out fast enough. If I turn it down to like 150 maybe? Is it? Okay, now it's dropping. Okay. So I'll keep it at 150. That's the thing, if I could, I mean, technically you could, if you could make enough fissile fuel, you could space, I think you could space these out a little bit more, the rods that are actually in there, and turn this thing up to like frickin' 1,000 millibuckets per tick, or, you know, consuming 1 bucket per tick. And then if you have enough, you put enough ports out, you could pull the steam out fast enough, baby. See, I am producing it decently quickly. Yeah, I don't know how fast that is, but it's a decent amount. So yeah, I guess now it's just time for me to get up to a couple stacks of the plutonium and polonium, and then I'll be able to get on to making that antimatter. Okay, now that I've got all the SPS casing blocks, go ahead and actually build this thing. It's pretty easy to build. It's kind of like a weird circle kind of thing. Essentially, every side of it looks like this. So every single side, you're building this. So it's pretty easy to build it, but then you also need to place in the SPS ports. You need 4. I thought you only needed 2. We need 4. I think you can go with only 3. But I'm going to use 4. Because I'm fairly certain you can use only 1 of these. The supercharged coils. You need, I think you need at least 1. I think you can use only 1, but I could be wrong. Maybe you need 2. So now you need at least 1 of these to be an output, because this is where the antimatter will come out of. And then you need, I think it's polonium. I'm fairly certain it's polonium. Yeah, it's the polonium, not plutonium. You leave it in the gas form, and then you just shove it in here. And then you need to supply power to these, and then it makes the antimatter. So I'm going to be putting the antimatter just into this chemical tank for now. And then I will eventually meaning right after I start producing it, start making the fading matter. But I already put down some gates on you. Can I have them, please? There you go. Okay. Now all I need to do is go start up my polonium process. Yeah, it's a freaking mess out here, but luckily you're not going to see it when you're in the base. So this should be making up the polonium. Nice. We have 1 millibucket. So really certain. Let me pull it up. Antimatter. Okay. So yeah. So you need 5 millibuckets and then the archium, and then some power, and you'll make the fading matter. Let me just make 1 of these. Oh, I need antimatter pellets. And I need 1,000 antimatter. Holy. Okay. Well, yeah, this is gonna take a while. Okay, I went ahead and made 2 antimatter pellets. So I should be able to just craft this. No. I want you right here. So if I just pull out an Archeon, I have to provide it with power. And then I have you spitting out to the left. Nice. And then I just have to throw the Archeon in. Boom. Got fading matter. Pretty sick. Now I just gotta hurry and run, what is it? Some cables to it. And then this thing will be fully automated. Nice. Now we've got this bad boy fully automated. And then I also went through and increased my fissile fuel output. I guess I'm kind of blowing through. Am I? No, I think I'm producing more fissile fuel than I'm consuming, which is a good thing, I guess. So yeah, I just added a ton of different machines to increase the production of that. Alright, well, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to actually mute this. Okay, that is really loud. But yeah, we got fading matter finally. Actually, I can go ahead and make the fading matter block. So I can make you. Nice. And then what do you make? I think, actually, wait, we're not done, because I can make the final star shard. Let me just try and pull all this crap out. Okay, so now I got the stuff to make this. Let's go throw you down. Place that right next to it, and then blow it up. And then, boom. The final star shard. That is pretty freaking sick. Now, what do you make? If I can make the final EMC link, that's pretty sick. I don't know what the alchemical book does. But I can make some infinity pipe upgrades. That's kind of nice. And then the max storage. And then I can also... Actually, I can't make this yet, because I do need the creative energy cube. But yeah, this, like the pipe upgrade and the max storage upgrade, shouldn't be too hard to get. I'm not really going to use the max storage upgrade, because that's for the drawers. But this thing, I use pipes quite a bit. So this will actually be super nice. Okay, now I'm going to leave it here. So we got the final star shard, which means in the next episode, we're going to be moving on to actually making the final star. And the cool thing is that there's no longer just like you get the final star and you're done. There's actually some stuff you can do afterwards. That's mainly just a to-do thing. It's not like it's just things to do. You're getting these creative bins, which are kind of cool because you can put an item in it and then it makes that item infinite. But you only get a certain amount. I don't know how many you get. But once you put an item in it, you can't change it. So you kind of have to choose what item you want to pull out infinitely. So that'll be kind of fun to figure out, you know, what I want to use that for and what can be used in it. But yeah, that'll all be in the next episode. Well, not the creative bin things, but the final star will be in the next episode. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.